Hello everyone, I am Manisha Kataria, faculty of MBA department from Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on the topic factors influencing entrepreneurial growth, the economic factors. Entrepreneurship is influenced by four distinct factors: economic development, culture, technological development and the education. In areas where these factors are present, you can expect to see strong and consistent entrepreneurial growth. These conditions may have both positive and negative influences on the emergence of entrepreneurship. Positive influences constitute facilitative and conducive conditions for the emergence of entrepreneurship, whereas negative influences create inhibiting milieu in the emergence of entrepreneurship. Today we will discuss only about the economic factors. Economic factors. Economic environment exercises the most direct and immediate influence on the entrepreneurship. This is likely because people become entrepreneur due to necessity when there are no other jobs or because of opportunity. The economic factors that affect the growth of entrepreneurship are the following. Number one, capital. Capital is one of the most important factors of production for the establishment of an enterprise. Increase in capital investment in viable projects results in increase in profits, which helps in accelerating the process of capital formation. Entrepreneurship activity too gets a boost with the easy availability of funds for the investment. Availability of capital facilitates for the emergence in to bring together the land of one, machine of another and raw material of yet another to combine them to produce goods. Capital is therefore regarded as the lubricant to the process of production. France and Russia exemplify how the lack of capital for industrial pursuits impeded the process of entrepreneurship and an adequate supply of capital promoted it. The second factor which affects the entrepreneurship growth is labor. Easy availability of the right type of worker also affects the entrepreneurship. The quality rather than quantity of labor influences the emergence and the growth of entrepreneurship. The problem of labor immobility can be solved by providing infrastructural facilities including efficient transportation. Most less developed countries are labor-rich nations owing to a dense and even increasing population. But entrepreneurship is encouraged if there is a mobile and flexible labor force, and the potential advantages of low-cost labor are regulated by the deleterious effects of labor immobility. The consideration of economic and emotional security inhibit labor mobility. Entrepreneurs therefore often find difficulty to secure sufficient labor. The third factor which affects the entrepreneurship growth is the raw material. The necessity of raw material hardly needs any emphasis for establishing any industrial activity and its influence in the emergence of entrepreneurship. In the absence of raw material, neither any enterprise can be established nor can an entrepreneur can be emerged. It is one of the basic ingredients required for production. Shortage of raw material can adversely affect entrepreneurial environment. Without adequate supply of raw material to industry can function properly and emergence of entrepreneurship it is adversely affected. In fact, the supply of raw material is not influenced by themselves but become influential depending upon the opportunity conditions. The more favorable these conditions are, the more likely is the raw material to have its influence of entrepreneurial emergence. The next factor which influences the entrepreneurial growth is the market. The role and importance of market and marketing is very important for the growth of entrepreneurship. In modern competitive world, no entrepreneur can think of surviving in the absence of latest knowledge about market and various marketing techniques. The fact remains that the potential of the market constitutes the major determinant of probable rewards from entrepreneurial function. Frankly speaking, if the proof of pudding lies in eating, the proof of all production lies in consumption, that is marketing. The size and composition of market both influence entrepreneurship in their own way. Practically, monopoly in a particular product in a market becomes more influential for the entrepreneurship than a competitive market. However, the disadvantage of a competitive market can be cancelled to some extent by improvement in transportation system, facilitating the movement of raw material and finished goods and increasing the demand for producer goods. Next factor which influences the entrepreneurial growth is infrastructure. Expansion of entrepreneurship presupposes properly developed communication and transportation facilities. It not only helps to enlarge the market but expand the horizons of business too. Take for instance the establishment of post and telegraph system and construction of roads and highway in India. It helped considerable entrepreneurial activities which took place in the 1850s. Apart from the above factor, institutions like trade, business associations, business schools, libraries, etc. also made valuable contribution towards promoting and sustaining entrepreneurship in the economy. You can gather all the information you want from these bodies. They also act as a forum for communication and joint actions. The next but not the last greater risk involved in the business. Risks are greater in less developed countries than developed nations due to the following reasons. Number one, there is considerable instability in both domestic and foreign economic policies. Second, there is instability in the market due to seasonal fluctuations of demand. Third, exports of these countries are subject to violent swings of prosperity and depression prevailing in import countries. Fourth, the domestic market is also small that inhibits new investments. Fifth, there is lack of information on cost, market demand, overhead facilities, etc. Hence, entrepreneur cannot make correct estimates of his proposed venture. Due to the aforesaid risk, entrepreneurs have a tendency to prefer short-term investments to long-term investments, which affects the growth of entrepreneurship. So here I am ending my topic, that is factor influencing entrepreneurial growth, the economic factors. I hope you guys understand the topic. Here I am ending my topic. Thank you very much.